presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tonight, the Indians are chasing history. Winners of 19 straight. They go for number 20 this evening against the Tigers. It is a gorgeous night for baseball as we welcome you to downtown Cleveland. It'll be game 2 in this series featuring the Tigers and the Indians. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. And we got a bird's eye view last night of just how good these Indians are, Rod. And right now they go for their 20th consecutive win. They might be the best team in baseball right now.
No doubt about that. And they've earned all the praise that they've been getting. A former teammate of mine, Terry Francona, he is their manager, and he's a very good friend of mine as well. And they're getting their due. They've got great pitching. They've got balance up and down that offense. And we've talked about Francona in that bullpen. So they're getting everything they deserve. Let's hope the Tigers can end that at 19, though.
All right, it's going to be Matt Boyd on the mound tonight for the Tigers. And for Boyd, he has had success in this ballpark. Back in April, pitched pretty well against this team. Now, obviously, they weren't as good back in April as they are right now, but still a pretty good chance tonight for Matt.
Well, Matt's going to have some great command tonight with his fastball. All right-handed lineup that Francona has ran out there against him. He's going to have to work all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. He's also going to have to use that very good changeup effectively after he's gotten ahead. He cannot fall behind these hitters all night long, as did last night's starter. He's going to have to get ahead. He's going to have to pitch, and he's going to have to try to beat these guys. But he's going to have to, first and foremost, attack this strike zone. You can't go ball one to these guys all night long.
All right, we know how good this Indian starting staff is. It'll be Corey Kluber in the ballgame tonight. For me, he is the Cy Young Award winner right now. I know there's a couple of weeks to go, but this guy's been dynamite.
Well, it's kind of hard to argue with that fact. I mean, since this guy came off the disabled list, he is the best right-hander in all of baseball. I'm talking about guys like Matt Scherzer, Arrieta. He takes no back seat to none of those guys. He's got a 2-seam fastball that gets in the mid-90s, but it's this wipeout curveball that's been a tremendous pitch for Corey Kluber. He throws it about 25% of the time. He only throws his heater 44% of the time. So Corey Kluber is awfully dominant. He will go out there tonight and try to get that 20th win for his club, which would establish a new American League record along with the Oakland Athletics. Tigers will be trying to prevent him from doing so.
All right, stay with us now. Game 2 just minutes away. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios and check in with Matt Shepard coming up tonight. How about Nick Castellanos? He equaled a career high last night in hits. Tonight he goes for a new personal best. Castellanos and the Tigers taking on the Indians next. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Dodge. At Dodge, the roar of our engines is our battle cry. Welcome to the Brotherhood of Muscle. And by Kroger, fresh food, low prices at Kroger. Cleveland tonight. It is game 2 in this series featuring the Tigers and the Cleveland Indians. The Tribe going for 20 consecutive wins after their victory last night. A convincing win against the Tigers. Still plenty of Tiger fans in the ballpark here tonight, hoping the Tigers can spring the upset. Here is the starting lineup for the Tigers tonight, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For the Tigers, it'll be Kinsler, Presley, and Cabrera in the top 3 spots. Nick Castellanos again batting cleanup. Candelario is at third. Tyler Collins in center tonight. Then you have Holiday catching, Navarro at first, or the DH rather, and Romine is the shortstop. That is how Brad Ausmus will line them up tonight here in game 2. And Corey Kluber is on the hill tonight for the Tribe. He is presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
And Corey Kluber won a Cy Young a few years ago and really has been one of the best right-handers in our sport since doing so. He's already won 15 games this year. You see the ERA at 2.56. That's the best in the American League. He's also punched out 2.35. He loves the fastball just 44% of the time, and he throws that curveball a lot more than his slider these days. Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. And Terry Francona has his right-handed batting lineup out there today with Geyer in left. Austin Jackson, he is in right field. Jay Bruce in right field, Jackson in center, Diaz, Lindor, Ramirez, Santana round out the infield. And Yan Gomes getting another start behind the plate tonight, catching their ace.
So the Indians come into play tonight 32 games over the 500 mark. They have taken over the best record in the American League, and they are trying to continue their winning streak here tonight. It is 72 degrees at game time. A little bit cloudy overhead, but no threat of rain. That is the good news, and we are just about ready for baseball this evening here in Cleveland.
A lot of people are not going to see the first pitch because looking out beyond the left field stands, it looks like they're going to have a huge walk-up crowd here at the ballpark tonight, and rightfully so.
Well, last night, for their 19th consecutive win, there were just about 18,000 people that came through the gates here last evening. Tonight, looking for a better crowd as they go for 20 in a row.
Yeah, it'll be about 30,000 people here tonight.
Here is Kinsler getting set to lead things off. It'll be Kinsler, Presley, and Miguel Cabrera facing Corey Kluber. And the right-hander from Birmingham, Alabama brings it home, and it's a strike called on Ian. Kinsler 1 out of 4 in the ball game last night. He has 4 hits on the road trip. Tigers had their share of hits last night, could not score any runs against the starter Carrasco. That is a fair ball down the first base line. It's going to roll to the corner. Kinsler rounds the bag. He is going for 2, and the throw is late. It'll be a leadoff double for Ian. Just inside the bag at first base.
And nice job of hitting here by Ian Kinsler, who has noticed the first game of the series, everybody pretty much stayed away from him. So he rifles that ball down in the right field corner, and you have to get on your horse because Jay Bruce in right field is a plus thrower. So it's a nice job by Ian Kinsler, thinking 2 out of the batter's box and able to make it with a leadoff double.
Tigers had plenty of base runners early in the ballgame last night, could not cash in. Here is Presley now batting .313.
And Corey Kluber is an outstanding pitcher, and every now and then against really good pitchers in this league, if you don't get them early when they give you an opportunity, you don't get them. So the Tigers have a golden opportunity right now.
Presley going to get the job done by advancing the runner. Good scoop at first base by Santana. And the sacrifice by Presley will move Kinsler to third. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. Brings us as well to the Bernstein advantage. Cabrera .434 versus Kluber in his career.
And Terry Francona conceding the run on the infield. I guess he believes that his team is going to score at least 1 run tonight against Matthew Boyd. Therefore, if Miguel hits a ground ball anywhere with the speed of Ian Kinsler, the Tigers will score the first run of the game.
Ball 1, good block at home by Gomes to save a run. Umpires tonight, Scott Berry, Michigan native from Quincy, Michigan behind the dish. Walcott, Donora, and Paul Emmel round out the crew. Cabrera in last night's ball game was 0 for 3. Now Kluber's 1-0. Outside 2-0.
And back-to-back breaking balls to Miguel Cabrera with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. If you were with us at the top of the show, I told you that Corey Kluber only throws his fastball about 44% of the time. And really the other 56% of the time, a mixture of sliders, curveballs, and very few changeups.
Popped him up. Right side of the infield, foul ground. Ramirez and Santana. Santana leans in and can't get it. That ball got caught up there in the wind and just sailed back toward the seats. If that catch is made, the runner tags and scores. Kinsler back to third. A little bit of a breeze tonight, not much. Miggy trying to drive this run in. He's got 59 RBIs this year, which is obviously well below what is normal for Miguel Cabrera. Year after year, well over 100. Inside, busting him up and in, and the count goes 3-1.
The Indians have done a lot of that to Miguel Cabrera this entire season, and Miggy hasn't really appreciated it. In last night's game, Salazar busted him tight inside.
Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Full count now on Miguel.
When you go inside with a mid-90s fastball, the hitter anticipates you're going back in there. And then Kluber throws that outstanding cut fastball away from Miguel. Miguel swung right through it.
Got him. Strike 3 in the outside corner. That ball was wide. And Cabrera can't believe it. Oh, it was way off the plate.
It's a 94-mile-per-hour fastball that Scott Berry gives the call to Yan Gomes. It's our Bell Tire pitch-by-pitch, and now he attacks Miguel Cabrera. First couple of breaking balls away, which he misses. Couple of fastballs inside, one of which really knocks Miggy off the plate. Then he goes right back down with a breaking ball and a two-seam fastball to finish him off.
2 gone now. First strikeout of the night for Kluber. And here's Castellanos. And Nicholas looks at ball 1.
And Nicholas Castellanos getting very few fastballs on the first at-bat of any game. First pitch of any at-bat these days.
Tigers last night stranded 10 men on base, so they want to start changing that here in the first inning tonight. It's been a great year for Nick offensively. Swing and a miss.
Yan Gomes likes to play a lot of games with the Tigers hitters. Every time he wants the ball away, he takes his glove and he pats it on the inside part of the plate as to try to fool the Tigers hitters into thinking that he's moving to the inside part of the plate and only to go back outside. He's doing that so they can feel him inside, but he goes right back outside. He did it a lot last night as well.
Now Kluber's 1-1. Off the plate, 2-1.
Yeah, Kluber already throwing mid-90s here in the very first inning.
Leadoff double by Kinsler was sacrificed to third. Cabrera caught looking, and now Nick Castellanos. Fouled away. 2-2 on Nicholas. 85 driven in this year for Castellanos. 21 home runs. Jamer Candelario lurking on deck. Crowd getting into this one early tonight. And Nick as well, an 8-game hitting streak Here's the 2-2. Just got a piece of it, fouled it away.
That's a pretty good breaking cut fastball actually to hit right there. It started right at Nicholas and ended up right over the heart of the plate at 91 miles an hour.
Nick with an 8-gamer was 1 for 4 in last night's contest. He had a double in the first inning. The crowd is much more lively tonight than last night. And again, the 2-2. Another foul, straight back out of play.
That's the first time that Kluber has really tried to go inside with a fastball for a strike. And he kind of missed. He left that ball over the heart of the plate. Nicholas had a good swing at it, but missed. You see Yan Gomes, he's going inside here. He wants that ball in, but it leaks right back over the heart of the plate. Nicholas missed it, though.
Swing and a miss, and struck him out. Kluber comes back to get a couple of strikeouts. The Tigers strand a man in third. And so we go to the bottom of the first, no score. Here's the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians, presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. And for the Tribe, there's their leadoff hitter. Francisco Lindor will get things started. Then Austin Jackson and Jose Ramirez. Encarnacion is batting cleanup. Santana, Bruce, and a bottom three of Diaz, Geyer, and Gomes. And they are facing lefty Matt Boyd, presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Matthew Boyd checks in 5-9 on the season in 21 starts, an ERA approaching 6. But he has had success this year against the Tribe, 1-1, with a very good earned run average. You can see he used that fastball 52% of the time, and he likes his changeup as the second best pitch.
So Boyd will go to work now, and it's going to be Lindor leading it off. 5-game hitting streak for Lindor, and boy, did he have a big hit early in the ball game last night.
Better batting average for Lindor, batting right-handed. He's over 300, but much more power when he's batting left-handed.
He had a 3-run triple in the 5-run second, which set the tone for the Indians en route to their shutout win, 11-0.
Yeah, he and his partner in crime, the number 3 hitter, Jose Ramirez, they drove in 7 runs last night between the two of them.
1-1 on Lindor. Outside, 2-1. Here's Ramirez, he'll bat third. Lindor's next home run will be his 30th of the year. Fouled away. And I'm not convinced anybody thought, as good as Lindor is, that he would hit 30 home runs.
No, I did not believe that he would hit 30 home runs. And I'm wondering next year if there will be some correction in some of the home run numbers of a lot of guys. Not just Lindor, but there's a lot of guys that are hitting a lot of home runs this year.
Woody held with 29 back in 59, so Lindor is next. Will put him alone among Indian shortstops. Popped up first base side. Let's see if it gets back out of play. Miggy runs out of room as it splashes on top of the dugout.
I don't think there's been a more difficult time to be a major league general manager with all the home runs and the fact that many people believe the ball's got a little extra giddy up in it. How do you gauge which are really the true numbers of some of the guys that are putting up monster career numbers as far as home runs are concerned? And from a pitching standpoint, guys giving up more home runs than they've ever given up.
I would agree with that 100%. And you also wonder what kind of an effect it'll have on the power hitters in the offseason, the free agents. Because a lot more guys now are hitting home runs.
Right. I mean, look at Lindor, 30. Not to take anything away from Francisco. He's a fine player, but I don't think anybody saw a 30 home runs on his horizon this quickly.
Fouled away. 95 from Boyd there.
And pretty good fastball Boyd has. He can touch 95. Very important for him at some point in time today. He's going to have to pitch inside. Here they go.
High drive, deep left field, back to the track, to the wall, and that ball is gone. Number 30 for Lindor. And it's 1-0 Cleveland. Wow. 30 homers for Francisco Lindor.
It's a 92-mile-per-hour fastball that Brian Holiday wanted inside. Let's see if Matthew gets it where he's supposed to. No, you can see that ball kind of leaked right back over the heart of the plate, and that's a really nice swing by Lindor, who's having a great season. It left his bat at 101.
Couple of rows deep beyond the left field wall, and the Indians have an early lead tonight, 1-0.
Tough assignment tonight for Matthew Boyd. All right-handed lineup that Terry Francona will run at him. A lot of guys having really good years.
And Jackson is .339 this year versus left-handed pitching.
That might just get Austin Jackson on the playoff roster, those kind of numbers.
No doubt.
He might be performing better than Brian Geyer, who is their left-handed hitting specialist.
Brandon Geyer.
Yeah.
Well, Jackson, really, when you look at the numbers he has put up, he's hit over 300 with a little bit of power. He's driven in some runs, but that guy right there, Lindor, is one of the best players in the game. Here's the 1-2. Little nubber off the end of the bat. Boyd gonna have to hurry. Shovels it on the backhand for the out.
Consumers Energy brings you the Tigers starting defense. Left to right, they go Presley, they go Collins, they go Castellanos in the outfield. Third to first is Candelario, Romine, Kinsler, and Miguel. Brian Holiday getting his second start behind the plate since being recalled from Toledo at the beginning of September.
Here is Jose Ramirez.
It's a nice play by Matthew Boyd, grabbing that barehanded and shuffling into Miguel Cabrera.
That might have been, Rod, the only way he makes that play, because if he fields it, turns and throws, I don't know.
Agreed. Nifty play by Matthew.
The 0-1. Well, Ramirez was taken out of the game in the middle of the ball game last night. A ball actually hit his bat, but ricocheted and drilled him on the forearm. He's back in there tonight. But he did damage last night against the Tigers. Knocked in 3, hit a homer.
His numbers this year against the Tigers are stupid. I mean, 17 extra base hits, 25 ribbies, and an OPS nearly 1,700.
That ball is clubbed in the air to left field. Not going to be deep enough. Presley is under it. 2 gone. That'll bring up Encarnacion. Encarnacion was 1 for 3 with a walk last night. Terry Francona had the opportunity with a lopsided score about the middle of the ball game in the 6th inning to start taking his starters out of the game. And that can be valuable down the stretch for a team that is headed to the postseason.
Francona right now has such depth with his roster. Of course, you can expand the rosters in September. But he's used just about everybody down there. We talked about this 19-game winning streak they've been on. It's been 10 different guys that have gotten game-winning hits for Terry Francona during the streak.
How many innings in this streak have they trailed? I think it's only 4 innings.
4 innings and 171 innings, I believe it is.
It's unbelievable. Here's the 1-2. Fouled away. Encarnacion had a walk and a hit in the ball game last night. He's 2nd in the league in walks, so he will take his base on balls. 95 walks this year. Off the plate, 2-2. Edwin this year, 34 home runs. Outside, now he's gone full 3-2. Again, that good fastball from Boyd at 95. He's got 22 total pitches so far. Line to third, and right there is Candelario to retire the side. Tribe scores first tonight. Francisco Lindor hits number 30. 1-0 Cleveland. The Indians an early 1-0 lead with his 30th home run. Menards brings you the big money encounter. Want to talk about possible Cy Young candidates, and Corey Kluber probably at the top of that list.
He is for me. I mean, Chris Sale pretty much had a stranglehold on that award as far as the first half of the season was concerned. But really, what have you done for me lately? And all Corey Kluber has done has been the best right-hander in all of baseball lately.
Put Craig Kimbrell on that list because he's having a fabulous year. Of course, Zach Britton was in the mix last year with Baltimore.
Carrasco was a nice add to that list as well. He's won 15 games and has an outstanding earned run average, and he's going to strike out 200 batters this year.
Jeimer Candelario leads it off against Kluber.
And if the earned run average was better of Trevor Bauer, he would be on that list. Trevor Bauer has been tremendous this season for the Tribe. He's won 16 games. And 9 in a row.
Jeimer sends a ground ball to second. That'll be routine there for Ramirez. Candelario is out, 1 gone here in the second.
I have a feeling that Jason Kipnis is not going to get that second base position back anymore. It looks like Ramirez is going to take over that second base position for the foreseeable future.
Can't say that I disagree with that, and I know that most managers don't like to have guys lose their positions because of injuries, especially someone as accomplished as Kipnis. But this thing is rolling right now for Cleveland.
Ramirez has made at least 40 starts at second and at least 40 starts at third base this year for Terry.
Strike one on Tyler Collins. 1 for 4 in his return to the Tigers last night from the minor leagues. Bouncing ball up the middle. Ramirez scooting to his right. And Tyler's out of there, 2 gone. Couple of ground ball outs for Corey Kluber. Now Brian Holiday. Pretty funny when you look at some of these numbers against Kluber. And you look up and down the list, you see Cabrera's got great numbers. Then you see Holiday is 7 for 14 against him.
Right, I saw that.
And you figure it's kind of an unlikely matchup here, but Brian has had his number. And to no one's surprise, he is in there tonight. And he'll look at ball 1 high.
If you find somebody hitting 500 against Corey Kluber, guess what? You're going to play.
You're going to play is right. Kluber's 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss.
And although James McCann is a very competitive young man, I'm sure he's not hating the fact that he's got a night off tonight.
Holiday even has a home run among the 7 hits. Here's the 1-1. Popped him up. First base side for Santana. Foul ground, and Kluber with a 1-2-3 second inning. We go to the bottom of the second, and we remind you to stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game when we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Nice night here in Cleveland as we play game 2 in this series. Tigers have 1 more here tomorrow, and it's back home. Here's Carlos Santana to get things started. Santana, Bruce, and then Diaz. Lindor's home run in the first, the only run so far. Strike 1 pitch is low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I read some comments regarding Santana this year, and he talked about the fact that Edwin Encarnacion, their newly acquired designated hitter, really helped him out at the beginning of the season. Santana's a free agent after this year. and really doesn't want to go anywhere.
Charging on the play is Romine. Quick flip will get him.
And he got off to a slow start because of that. And he said that Encarnacion took him to the side. And he said, man, just go out and have fun. Don't think about free agency. Everybody knows you want to stay here. Go out, have fun, think about helping the team win, and everything will take care of itself. And Santana's had one of his better years, at least from a batting average standpoint, driving in runs with runners in scoring position.
You know, with the dollars in the game today, Rod, I think that's a kind of a tough thing to do, not to think about that.
Yeah, Eric Hosmer said the exact same thing in Kansas City at the beginning of the year. Got off to a really slow start. A lot of these guys that have never been in a situation where they could possibly cash in after this season, sometimes it's not easy to go out and perform.
You know who it's not bothering this year is J.D. Martinez.
Oh, not at all.
Who is just going off now with the Diamondbacks.
J.D. has played in 46 games with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he has driven in 46 runs. That's stupid, man. It's ridiculous.
2-1 on Jay Bruce.
And they love him out in the desert.
I wonder if he ends up with them next year.
If I was Mike Hazen, their general manager, I sure would make a run at him. He has changed the culture in the National League West. He really has.
Remember years back when McGuire went to St. Louis, and many thought, well, he's just going as a rental, and he ended up loving it there.
Yeah.
And stayed there.
You think about some of the right-handers that have been traded in the last 10 years.
That ball hammered to right field. It's going to get down the base hit. Castellanos will play it on a hop and a rifle of a single for Jay Bruce.
There's only a couple that have really had the impact that J.D. Martinez has had with their new team. Manny Ramirez when he was traded from Boston to Los Angeles, and they started that whole Manny Wood thing out there. And Yoenis Cespedes when he was traded to the Mets. Those two guys have had that same kind of impact that J.D. has had in Arizona.
Here is Yandy Diaz, who is at third base again tonight for the Tribe. 2 out of 5 with an RBI last night. That floats in a breaking ball for strike 1 on Diaz.
That ball was smoked by Jay Bruce, their right fielder.
Up and in.
Jay Bruce is a guy that I could see the Cleveland Indians retaining, depending on how badly he wants to stay here. He is a free agent after this year's over. Nice left-handed bat with power.
Well, he's done well so far in a Tribe uniform.
Tribe are 19-4 in starts this season with Jay Bruce. Of course, he came at the right time.
Here's the 2-1. 2-2 now on Yandy Diaz. Well, we've said it over and over, but the Indians have gotten so many young players to come up and different players from the minor leagues that chip in. Diaz, of course, one of them. Giovanni Urshela. I mean, it's hard to fathom this team is doing what they're doing without a guy like Michael Brantley.
The young kid Allen that played center field last night. That was a better fastball by Boyd. He kind of got that one in on Diaz. So if you're going to go inside, that's what you have to do. You have to get it in there.
Best records in the major leagues this year. The Dodgers still with 92, the most, but they are sliding quickly. They can't stop it.
What the Dodgers are going through might be equally as puzzling to me at the fact that these Indians have won 19 games in a row in the big leagues. Dodgers have what, dropped 16 to 17?
Yeah, 11 straight.
They got Kershaw going tonight, though. I think he's going to end that.
I think if you're a team like the Dodgers and you've lost 11 straight, I mean, you've got to start talking about paying attention to the entire body of work that your team has been able to put forth this year and not dwell on the fact that down the stretch you're kind of limping to the finish line.
No doubt. You got to find some positives somehow, some way.
Diaz looks at a ball that just missed low.
This is a very difficult lineup to go up against if you're a left-handed pitcher. And because all the guys are batting right-handed and all the guys seem to have some pretty good plate discipline, a lot of the guys have power.
Bruce at first with a 1-out single. 7-pitch at bat right now for Diaz.
Lindor had a pretty lengthy at bat to lead off the game as well before homering.
Ground ball left side, going to find a hole, base hit. He went out there and got it and shoots it to left. Back-to-back singles for the Indians.
Was not a bad pitch by Matthew Boyd, so give Diaz some credit. It was a little changeup that was fading away from him. It was actually off the plate, but at 82 miles an hour. And with those long arms and that long bat, Diaz able to go out and get it for a single.
Indians have their third hit of the game. 2 on, 1 out now for Brandon Guyer. .236 this year for Guyer. Swing and a miss, 0-1. He was out in front of the changeup.
Yeah, Guyer batting .252 against left-handed pitching this year.
It's not nearly as good as last year.
Oh no, last year he led All-American League players with a .464 on-base percentage against left-handed pitching. That's the reason why he was on the Cleveland Indians roster last year, only to go up against lefties.
And one of the reasons why they re-signed him to a 2-year deal at the end of last year. 1 ball, 1 strike on Guyer. Into left field, a base hit. Here comes Bruce to third. They're going to stop him there, and 3 consecutive singles now for the Indians. Cleveland had 11 hits last night. They already have 4 here tonight. It's going to bring up Yan Gomes, the number 9 hitter.
If you're Matthew Boyd, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you cannot give up many runs in this game tonight, especially with Corey Kluber on the other side towing the rubber for the Tribe. And Corey Kluber has been outstanding in this ballpark.
Bruce singled. Diaz singled, and now Guyer with a base hit.
Yan Gomes has grounded into quite a few double plays this year, so nice ground ball will turn 2 for you.
It'll dive in for a strike. Gomes this year 4 for 7 with the bases loaded. He has 1 grand slam, 2 in his career. Luke foul back out of play. Now it's 0-2.
A couple of really good pitches here to Yan Gomes to get ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. So you can't afford to make a mistake here if you're Boyd. You either have to climb the ladder with a really good fastball or have enough confidence in your catcher Holiday to block any breaking ball that you might bounce.
.44 pitches already for the lefty Boyd. Here's the 0-2. Fouled away.
Good pitch. Up at the top of the strike zone.
50 RBIs this year for Gomes. That is the most he has had since the 2014 season when he had 74 RBIs.
I believe he won a Silver Slugger that year.
Yeah, hit 21 home runs, and then he was injured the following year. Boyd needs a ground ball. Another foul back out of play. Boy, the Indians have done a great job of fouling pitches off early in this game.
I'm trying to think if he's getting any swings and misses at all.
Not many.
Everything, they're either putting it in play or they're fouling it off.
And Boyd's stuff can be good enough to get you swings and misses.
Every now and then he can have that 95 fastball if he's spotting it in a really good location and go with that changeup breaking ball mix that he has.
Miss outside. 1-2 on Gomes. It was here in early April that Boyd pitched really well. 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run against the Tribe and beat him here. Time called at home plate by Holliday right before Boyd was to deliver that pitch, and it was his catcher, Holliday, that was given time.
Cleveland Indians have fouled off 12 pitches already from Matthew Boyd. 12 of the 47 have been fouled off, and a lot of those with 2 strikes.
John Adams working early again here tonight. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Off speed outside, and Gomes goes down 2 away.
That's a nice job, and that's the value of getting ahead of a hitter. No balls and 2 strikes. Now you can continue to expand the strike zone, and he does it with a changeup. That ball is well off the plate, and he finally gets a swing and miss. That's what you can do when you get ahead of the hitters.
It'll bring up Lindor, who in this spot last night tripled with the bases loaded to drive in 3. He's got a solo home run in the first inning to give Cleveland the lead. That was an 8-pitch at bat. And he takes ball 1.
And that home run by Lindor in the first, his second leadoff home run of the season. Of course, Ian Kinsler, and he gets a lot of those.
Ian has 6 this year. One ball, 1 strike.
Here's the home run. They wanted the fastball inside, and you can see Brian Holliday with the glove reach back out over the plate. And a lot of times those don't make it to the catcher's glove. It's a fabulous year for Francisco Lindor. His 30th home run.
One and 2 on Lindor. How about the numbers in the 6-game streak for Lindor? He's 11 for his last 22. 8 RBIs. It's one of those turning point at bats of a game where Boyd can get him here and keep it 1-0. Lindor trying to lengthen the lead. Inside, and the count goes 2-2 on Lindor.
That's a good pitch. I'd like to see him go back in there again, though. But for a strike. Because the last thing that Lindor is looking for is a fastball inside. He's looking for something away from it. Not looking for a fastball in right here.
Low and away. Here comes the crowd now, 3-2. The base is full and 2 outs.
A lot louder in this ballpark than it was last night. A lot of these fans have come to see history made.
Fouled away.
Another foul ball. It's like Justin Verlander out on the mound tonight.
Well, because of all these foul balls, he's up to 54 now. And again, Holliday goes out to the mound. Again, Lindor had an 8-pitch at bat in the first. And in that at bat, he fouled off 4 straight balls before connecting on a 2-2. He popped him up, had him out in front. Here is Holliday to retire the side. Big out there for Matt Boyd. And the Indians will leave him loaded. 2 in the books here in Cleveland. Top of the third, we bring in Johnny Kane now with a little bit more on tonight's starter, Corey Kluber.
Well, Mario, I'm with you. I think he's got to be the front runner for the American League Cy Young. 2 more strikeouts tonight. That gives him 196 since he came off the disabled list on June 1st. You know, I talked to Terry Francona before the game, and he said, you know, Kluber's not that real vocal leader inside the clubhouse, but what he does is he goes about his business the right way, does everything appropriately, and he's the leader of this rotation. Certainly guys like even Clevenger's kind of come on the scene. Tomlin's been really good. Bauer's been good. Carrasco we saw last night. But Francona said they even have 15 guys coming up from the Fall Development League, and they're going to have him shadow Corey Kluber throughout the week just to kind of see how he goes through his different routines, whether that be weightlifting, stretching, things of this nature. So Corey Kluber's, he's the ace of this staff, unquestionably, and a guy that Terry Francona has leaned on heavily.
And Kluber has really provided a lot of dividends. So really, Rod, when you think back about how they got Kluber, it was a 3-team trade back in 2010, and he was really kind of unknown back then. Jake Westbrook was involved in that deal. Kluber came over from the Padres, but nobody thought really anything about him.
No, and he's a late bloomer. And because until he won the Cy Young a few years ago, there were very few people that knew anything about Corey Kluber. He has always had great stuff. Mid-90s fastball. He's got a really good curveball. He's got a cutter and a slider. But it wasn't until he stopped trying to be so fastball happy until his career really turned around. I mean, Kluber used to be a guy that threw you 60, 65% fastballs, and even though he threw 95, everybody throws 95 these days.
Yeah.
So now he's throwing more breaking balls, and that makes that fastball even more lethal, more life on that pitch.
Navarro rolls it foul. I was reading an article about Kluber, and you're right. Where it turned for Corey Kluber as a minor leaguer was he stopped throwing that 4-seam fastball and concentrated more on 2-seamers than his breaking ball, and all of a sudden it really started to click.
It's all about movement and location at this level. There are guys that throw 97, 98. There are some guys that throw 100 miles an hour, but it's straight. And these guys in the big leagues, they can hit that.
Ball high.
Really, the Cleveland Indians have a staff full of guys that are throwing a lot of breaking balls these days. Not only is Kluber using that breaking ball, but Allen, their closer. Miller has a good slider. Bauer has a wipeout breaking ball. Salazar, Carrasco, Tomlin, you name it.
Got him, strike 3. Navarro is caught looking, 1 gone.
It's the second strikeout that Kluber has gotten today on the fastball that has been on the outer part of home plate. That's a 90-mile-per-hour cutter.
You know, the guy the Cardinals got in that deal, Jake Westbrook, was kind of a prime example of what Kluber wanted to become, and that is using a 2-seamer. He got a lot of ground balls, Westbrook.
Yeah, he was a good pitcher.
That's how he made his living, and then Kluber just had the light bulb go on when he got away from the 4-seam fastball. Romine is the batter now. That is 7 straight retired by Corey Kluber.
You can see he's only used that fastball 38% of the time here, and the slider and the curveball a whole lot more.
Tigers are without a couple of their shortstops. Iglesias is due back tomorrow from Miami, and Dixon Machado went back home. His wife is having a child, so Tigers down to Romine as their shortstop. 2 balls and 1 strike. Andrew batting .234. Bouncer slowly toward first. Kluber will cover, and Santana will throw him out 3-1. 2 gone. Star Wars night is this Saturday when the Tigers take on the White Sox at 6:10. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Star Wars tote bag. If you'd like tickets, go to Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER.
It's hard to believe that there's only 1 homestand left in the 2017 season.
I think we say that every year when September rolls around. We wonder where in the world did the season go.
But a lot of times when you're having a poor season like the Tigers have had this year, it's a long season, but it doesn't really seem like it's been that long, to me anyway.
I agree. Here is Kinsler now with 2 outs and a ball outside. Ian had a double to lead things off. Tigers couldn't get him in, though. They got him to third base, but failed to score him in the first.
Yeah, they wasted a golden opportunity, and those are the things that you just cannot do against an ace like Corey Kluber. And when he gives you an opportunity early in the game, you have to capitalize. Our former buddy Justin Verlander is making his second start with his new team tonight out west against the Los Angeles Angels.
He was pretty good in that first one against Seattle.
He was. Gave up 1 run, pitched 6 innings. JV admitted he was a little nervous when he made that start.
You know what would be interesting is to see Verlander, if the Astros go on to play Cleveland, how he would react to pitching against the Indians.
That's right.
Because the Indians hit him pretty good.
They've had his number.
At times. Now, JV had some good starts against the Indians. 2-2 on Ian Kinsler. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. And Gomes will throw down at first to complete the strikeout. 1-2-3 they go. It's opening night at Little Caesars Arena. More when we come back. All right, Mick, thanks very much. You know, it's the simple things in life, like an escalator or an elevator.
No doubt.
And you don't have to walk up the steps. Why? We can't wait to see Little Caesars Arena when we get back home.
Keep it simple.
What a great venue. Kid Rock opening up Little Caesars Arena in downtown Detroit.
I might roll over and check out Kid Rock tomorrow when we get back.
Nice. You got all those connections.
Well, not necessarily all those connections, but I do have that connection.
You got them all, man. You got them all, the big time shows.
You want to roll?
There's Rod Allen.
You want to roll?
Yeah, let's go. I'm in. There's a ball outside to Jackson. Now 2-1 the count as we get things rolling here in the bottom of the third. Jackson, then Ramirez, and then Encarnacion in a 1-0 ball game. Cleveland on top. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Jackson bounced out 1-3 his first time up. In fact, it was a really good play by Boyd, who had to shovel the ball backhanded down the first base line to get him.
I think Terry Francona has used Austin Jackson in a beautiful way this year. Jackson still has had a couple of injuries this year, but Francona, because his roster is so deep, he's able to play him against left-handers. He doesn't have to play him against right-handers, and because of that, He's kept Jackson kind of fresh, and Jackson's had a really good year.
There's another base hit for the Indians. They start things off here in the third with a single by Jackson.
And we cannot watch Austin Jackson without talking about 2 catches that he's made in his career. One this year. This was Fenway Park. It was one of the better catches we've witnessed this season, of course, in the Andres Galarraga game. Grzelcyk making a bid for a double. Jackson made a really nice play. 2 fine plays by a very good center fielder, Armando Galarraga.
Jackson, man, he would put on a show in center field in Detroit many, many times. But that catch he made in the Galarraga game, man, I mean, there are just some things that just kind of stick out, and that one does.
I think it was the first pitch of the 9th inning. Grzelcyk was a pinch hitter, and he jumped on a Galarraga fastball, and Jackson ran 150 feet to get to that baseball.
Ramirez shoots one to right field, a base hit. Jackson will hold at second, and here come the Indians again.
I just don't know how you get this young man out, man. From the left side, from the right side, in 2 years in a Tribe uniform, he has killed the Tigers pitching. This is a fastball that's away from him. He just simply goes with the pitch. He lets it get real deep, takes a real nice pass at it, and laces a single to right field. He is the most dominant switch hitter in baseball right now. And he's only 5'9".
I know it.
He is the most dominant switch hitter in baseball.
You talk about how Altuve, and he's what, 5'3", 5'4", 5'5", whatever he is, and how it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a big man to play this game. And Ramirez, another example. Well, the Indians loaded the bases, didn't score in the second, but they really made Boyd work, and now they're making him work again here in the third.
They got a ton of hits already. They got 6 hits already.
He is at 64 pitches with nobody out in the third. Encarnacion lined sharply to Candelario at third, his last at bat. Way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boyd is in search of his first win since July the 29th against Houston. It'll dive low, 2-1. Just what a grand opportunity for the youngsters in this rotation here in September. And going into next year, you know that Fulmer hopefully will be healthy. He, by the way, had his surgery today, and it went extremely well. So he is hopeful of being back by spring training. And then you look at Jordan Zimmerman as probably your 1-2. I don't know what the Tigers will do in the offseason in terms of maybe looking for a free agent, but there are a lot of young guys right now that really are going to have a chance.
Now, Al might go out and try to bring in a free agent, but it will not be an expensive free agent.
Ooh, good pitch, and Encarnacion caught looking. Breaking ball, got him, 1 gone.
Edwin Encarnacion is a dead pull hitter, so if you can go outside with a backdoor breaking ball and locate it at the knees, you can get him out. It's a real good pitch there by Matthew. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. Matthew Boyd, Daniel Norris, Buck Farmer, a lot of the guys that have been getting some opportunities in the big leagues the last number of years, they need to step up because you don't get these opportunities very often. And to seize an opportunity to be in the starting rotation.
Tigers have some really good young arms in the minor leagues, but many of them still at the lower levels. Guys like Manning and the newly acquired Perez. Well, he was at Double-A.
Only 19 years old in Double-A. There's no easy outs in this lineup tonight for Matthew Boyd.
No, and when you look at first pitch strikes, he's 10 for 14, but I mean, Santana's up there now. You got Jay Bruce on deck.
Right. And And Santana having a good year.
Two and one. That was close, but he did not get the call. Santana grounded out his first time up. Ground ball here would look awfully nice, preferably at someone. Checked it. He went around, and 2-2 on Santana.
Good pitch. And the Indians have the kind of lineup that if you're Matthew Boyd, you cannot try to overpower them with fastballs when you're behind in the count. So you may as well try to throw a changeup or a breaking ball. And he threw a changeup there, and it was a very good pitch for Matt.
They'll get back in the seats. Santana's one of those guys that was acquired at a really good deal for the Indians. They gave up Casey Blake several years back. And Blake had a really good year, but really after the trade to the Dodgers kind of flamed out. He was pretty much done, and Santana was just getting started. He was a catcher in his early years.
Then they moved him to third base.
Yeah. Now playing first. Swing and a miss, and Boyd comes back with 2 big strikeouts. 3 of them in the game now for Matthew.
He got Encarnacion on the breaking ball that was outside. He came back and got Santana on a fastball in the low 90s.
So Jay Bruce, who singled in the second, will stand in with 2 outs. Bruce says an Indian batting just .161 against left-handed pitching. Ball 1. Up to 75 now for Matt.
Only in the third inning.
Bullpen is going to come into play again tonight.
They've got 11 of them out there.
Here's the 1-0. It just seems that the Tigers cannot get a guy to go into the 7th inning at least. I mean, even 6 innings would be good.
They haven't had that guy since Verlander left, and Fulmer. They have one on the disabled list.
Here's the 2-0. 3-0 now on Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce, no doubt, has the green light here. Now, whether he'll swing or not, it remains to be seen. But if he does get a fastball from Matthew Boyd, and Terry Francona has enough confidence in Bruce to allow him to get loose if he wants to.
There are no seats available in that Tigers bullpen.
Oh, no, there's no seats out there.
It's packed down there. The 3-0. He'll take. It's a strike.
An 85-mile-per-hour BP fastball or something. He did not throw him a four-seam fastball. That was something at 85.
Boyd left the bases loaded in the second, trying to strand 2 more here in the third. Ooh, again, it floats in just about the same spot, 3-2.
Probably shouldn't come back with the same pitch, though. We'll see if he does. A lot of times you throw the same pitch 3 times in a row to a good big league hitter like Bruce, and you have to throw a strike where you run the risk of walking him, and there's going to be some kind of contact. But this is where you can get away with a fastball because you put that thought of the breaking ball in Bruce's mind. Nice crowd here tonight, partner.
Really nice crowd. Last night, not so much.
Good to see. And Cleveland went to the World Series last year and have won 19 games in a row, and they only had, what, 18, 19,000 people here last night?
They did. 3-2. Oh, he walked it. Where was that? Oh, was that close? The look on Brad's face. Did he say, really?
He came back with the exact same breaking ball. And it didn't appear to be all that low. It really didn't. Looked like it crossed the plate at his knees. Could have very easily been called a strike.
So the Indians have him loaded again. Here is Yandy Diaz, who singled in the second. Fly ball in the air to right field. Fairly deep but playable. Castellanos is under it, and once again, they will leave him loaded. 3 in the book, still 1-0. Nothing in favor of the Indians tonight. Here is Chevrolet's most dependable player. How about Alex Presley? When you look at the highest batting averages against their own division, you got Presley against the Central. Pretty good.
Nearly 400 for Alex Presley.
Had himself a sacrifice in the first inning here tonight. The Tigers dodging a couple of bullets in the last 2 innings as the Indians left him loaded twice.
And perfect sacrifice bunt for Presley his first time up today after Ian Kinsler led off the ball game with a double down the right field line, but the Tigers couldn't score him.
Kluber has retired 9 straight. He has fanned a total of 3 in this game, make it 4. He got Kinsler to close out the 3rd for his 4th strikeout. Little chopper foul down the first base line.
And Presley doesn't take a big swing. And he really just tries to put the ball in play. Line drive hitter. A lot of his hits in a Tigers uniform have gone the opposite way. Not a lot of power.
Kluber gave up the leadoff double to Kinsler in the first, and after that, not a whole lot going on. Here's the 1-1. Up and in, 2-1 now on Presley.
And 17 to right for Presley, 13 to left. 26 up the middle. He's using the entire field. That's why the batting average over 300.
He had a 4-hit game against the Indians back on September the 2nd. And this year 11 for 25 versus the Tribe. He's gone ahead 3-1 in the count. 3-2. Two, 3, and 4 coming up for the Tigers. Presley, Cabrera, and then Castellanos. So far, the Lindor home run in the first inning is held up for Cleveland.
Corey Kluber, one of those guys, partner, that likes to stand on the first base side of the rubber. You stand on that side of the rubber, and what it helps him do, it helps him get his fastball inside to the left-handers and away from the right-handed batters. Remember Jordan Zimmerman moved on the other side of the rubber momentarily, trying to accomplish the same thing that Kluber tries to accomplish by standing on that side of the rubber? It helps guys get the ball inside that have difficulty doing so.
3-2, the count stays on Presley.
It's a perfect example of it again on an 86-mile-per-hour cutter, and that he ran it on the hands of Alex.
Kluber is about as stoic as they get on the mound. There's a very little wasted energy out there.
Yeah, he doesn't show a lot of emotion. He's all business.
Bouncer right back to the mound. Kluber, nice play. One gone.
Well, once you deliver that baseball, you become a defender, and Corey Kluber gets himself in a nice position to make a play, and he does so. You know, if Corey Kluber goes on to win the Cy Young this year, he will have his offense to thank for that, because in a couple of starts this year that Sale has made against the Tribe, he's given up 14 earned runs to Cleveland bats, and that's pretty much, if it goes down neck and neck, that might allow Corey Kluber to win the Cy Young.
That's a good point.
Those two starts that Sale made against Cleveland.
Here is Cabrera. And Miguel looks at a strike.
Miggy with wonderful career numbers against Corey Kluber, but most of those numbers came a couple of years ago, and Corey pretty much has slowed Miggy down the last year and a half. There was a time where Corey Kluber said Miguel Cabrera just simply owns me. He hits everything that I throw. I can't get him out, and I can't figure it out.
It has not been a good year for Miguel, who has been bothered by a bad back, which started in the World Baseball Classic and has kind of hampered him throughout the course of the year. Swing and a miss. And we've seen a lot of that this year, Rod. I can't remember ever saying that, swing and a miss, as much as I have this year.
No, because his hand-eye coordination over the course of better than a decade has been better than most that have ever played the game.
Now Kluber with the 1-2. 2-2 on Miggy.
What they have been able to do with Miguel, they get him conscious of the inside pitch, and Miggy starts to think about that inside pitch, and that front shoulder starts to fly off the baseball, and that's where Kluber gets away with those breaking balls that are down and away from Miggy.
Swing and a miss to strike him out again. 2 gone.
Take a look at the front shoulder here of Miguel Cabrera. I mean, you can see how violently that shoulder comes off the baseball. Miggy thinking about possibly that pitch inside. This time up, everything was away from Miguel, and usually Kluber at least throws one pitch inside to Miggy. Miggy just a little jumpy right now.
So the only ball hit out of the infield by the Tigers was the Kinsler double to start the ball game. That's it. And now here is Castellanos. Swing and a miss.
A lot of first pitch breaking balls. We saw it last night from Carrasco. We're seeing it again tonight from Corey Kluber. Even when the score was very lopsided last night, Carrasco and Salazar still both were throwing a lot of first pitch off speed pitches.
5 strikeouts tonight for Kluber, 2 of them of Miguel Cabrera.
This Cleveland Indians staff has 82 games of at least 10 or more strikeouts this year.
It's a major league record.
We'll get back to this fastball usage after this pitch.
But and we are, because it's worth noting. I mean, it really is fascinating what that graphic was about to tell us.
In 2011, they threw more fastballs than any team in baseball, the Cleveland Indians. Now they're 29th this season, just 6 years. Now they're only 49% fastball, lots of breaking balls, and the staff has really taken off.
Here's the 1-2. Line to right field. That ball slicing. It's going to get down. It's a fair ball going to the corner. Castellanos on his way to second, pulling in with a double. 2 out, 2 base hit for Nick. And the Tigers have the tying run at second.
I'm convinced, man, Nicholas can just hit, man. It doesn't really matter whether it's a Corey Kluber or who it is. And Nicholas Castellanos is having a fabulous year and beats up on some of the best pitching in all of baseball.
Kluber had retired 11 straight before the Castellanos double, which, by the way, extends his hitting streak to 9 straight.
That replay of him pulling his hands inside that baseball and slicing that ball past Bruce in right field was a thing of beauty. Castellanos was trying to hit the ball to right field. He wanted to make sure that he stayed on it. Look at the swing here, how he pulls his hands close to his body and he opens up the hips. He just tries to flip that ball the other way, and he's successful doing so.
Candelario looks at ball 1. Jamer now trying to tie it up with a 2-out hit. Kluber got him to ground out in his first at bat.
And Candelario 0 for 4 in his career against Kluber.
Jamer had a couple of knocks in the ball game last night. High strike, and the count levels now 1-1. We've talked about his ability, Ron, to spray the ball all over the place. The only one thing I've noticed is the breaking ball sometimes gets him tied up.
Right. That's not uncommon for a young player. He's going to have to continue to make adjustments along the way, just like most young players do. That's a wicked pitch right there.
That was a good example. That was a good one, though.
Right underneath the hands of Jamer Candelario. That breaking ball.
1-2 on Jamer. Trying to drive in Castellanos in a 1-0 game. And he got him, strike 3. A fastball at 95 at the top of the zone, and Corey Kluber has his 6th strikeout of the game. For the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile, Jose Abreu leads Major League Baseball with 6 4-hit games this year.
He's done a lot of damage in the 4 years that he's played stateside.
Meanwhile, Cole Hamels recording 10 wins now in 9 of his 12 seasons.
He has been one of the best left-handers in the sport that you really don't talk about, along with Chris Sale and some of the other guys.
Marco Estrada was on that list as well, throwing well for the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays were thinking about trading Estrada at the trade deadline, but he wasn't pitching well at that time.
Brandon Guyer leading it off as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Guyer, Gomes, Lindor, and it's been a high wire act tonight for Matt Boyd. He has stranded the bases loaded each of the last 2 innings.
Yeah, you want to be careful if you decide to go inside against Brandon Guyer, because he's one guy that does not get out of the way. He will get hit.
Pulled to third base right at Jamer. Candelario throws him out, 1 away. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, it's imperative, I think, that Boyd has a quick inning here, which goes without saying. But so far, Tigers pitchers have thrown at least 20 pitches in 9 of the 11 innings in this series.
Oh.
I mean, that's getting you to the bullpen quickly. And we're on that same pace here tonight. Here's Yan Gomes.
You don't get that many defensive plays made behind you when you keep your defense on its feet as long as the Tigers have in the 11 innings you've mentioned. 20 or more pitches in 11 frames.
Well, in this game alone, Boyd 23 in the first, a 32 pitch second, and then 26 more in the third. Now the 0-2 outside, 1-2 on Gomes. Yan struck out with the bases loaded in the second. Six left on base already for the Indians.
Boyd has already pitched in quite a bit of traffic here tonight with a lot of base runners, but the fact of the matter is, when he has had those base runners out there, he's been able to get some really key strikeouts and to keep the Tribe at just 1 run, and that was a leadoff homer by their leadoff hitter Lindor in the bottom half of the first inning. So I guess you could say they've been able to bend Boyd, but they have not been able to break him.
No, it looks like the only thing that might get Boyd tonight is the pitch count. He's had 90 now, and his season high is 111. Here's the 1-2.
They just continue to foul off every really good pitcher's pitch that Boyd makes with 2 strikes. And that's a testament to their hitting coach, Ty Van Berkelio. And when you can get your team to buy into not over swinging and just trying to put the ball in play with 2 strikes, you have something special, and they have something special going.
There's another foul.
That is the 21st foul ball today off of Matthew Boyd.
So Gomes, who is the number 9 here in their lineup, has already seen 13 pitches. 1-2 on Gomes. Ball high, 2-2. Tigers have been out hit 6-2 in this game, but trailed by only 1. Pulled foul. Lindor waiting on deck. And all of a sudden, this will be a 10 pitch at bat, number 10 coming up. Gomes not going anywhere. Gomes had an RBI in last night's ball game, had a couple of hits as well. Boyd again with the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He finally got him. 2 away here in the fourth.
Finally elevated a fastball in the low 90s to Yan Gomes, and Gomes couldn't catch up to it.
Here's Lindor.
Lindor's 30 home runs are more than any shortstop in the major leagues.
Most by a Tribe shortstop ever as well.
Ever?
Well, we showed that list earlier where he had 29. Woody held at 29. And then number 30 put him alone. Leighton Hardy's starting to warm up. Ball belted down the left field line. Here comes Presley toward the foul line. Can't get it. Back out of play.
It's almost like this year Lindor has sacrificed batting average for more power, more extra bases, more homers, less batting average, which in a lot of people's mind is overrated anyway, the batting average stat.
What did Leland used to say? Give me those guys who can just drive in runs.
Driving those guys from first base.
From first base, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a lot of those guys.
Skipper in town here, by the way.
Yeah.
Saw him before the game. That'll slice foul back out of play, 1-2.
And Jim will probably follow the team back to Detroit and probably watch the team the final week of the season to help Al Avila, the general manager, in gauging exactly what the team wants to do in the future.
In the air to center field. Tyler Collins goes back to run it down. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Boyd. It is 1-0 in favor of the Indians, and start your day with First Things First. Weekday mornings on FS1 with hosts Chris Carter and Nick Wright as they kick off the day with the latest in sports. First Things First, weekdays at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on FS1.
Ooh, that's an early wake-up call for Chris.
For all of us.
6:30.
Kluber goes to work and delivers a strike to Tyler Collins.
Tigers have not been able to do a whole lot against Corey Kluber here today. Other than the first inning, they had a runner on third base with one out. But Kluber got a couple of strikeouts to get out of that jam. And the one thing I've noticed about him today is he's using that cut fastball and that four-seam fastball inside to his advantage. And a lot of first pitch curveballs. He's one of the best in the sport.
Kluber came into the ballgame leading the American League in ERA, also opponent's batting average, only 196 against this year. And also leading the league in home ERA.
Some outstanding right-handed pitchers in the major leagues. Guys that have the same pedigree as a Kluber. Verlander, Scherzer, Arrieta, Severino, to name a few.
Here's the 1-2. Ground ball, first base side, sprawling, stops Santana. Kluber covers in a nifty play.
Not only a nice play by Santana, who wears his socks, his pants above his knee, but also once he grabs this ball, a really nice, firm, accurate feed to Corey Kluber, who he hits him on the run. That is a nice play.
One gone for Brian Holiday. Oh for 1 for Holiday. This 19-game winning streak that the Indians have started on August 24th, and it started with a bang. They scored 7 runs off Chris Sale to beat Sale, and that's how this whole thing got started.
It's the second time they beat up on Sale the exact same way. They scored 7 runs against him earlier this year.
Bouncer up the middle, and Lindor gets it, spins, fires, and got him. Oh, what a play by Francisco Lindor.
Francisco Lindor won a platinum glove last year, which goes to the best defensive player in all of baseball, and he goes up and he robs B. Holiday of a single. He grabs it off the carpet, and then he swings, does a pirouette, and throws a one-hop strike to Santana.
See Holiday just laugh at the end?
That's all you can do. It's 2 nice plays that has been made by their infield. They've got the best defense in baseball. They've got the best fielding percentage, at least in the American League.
Here is Efren Navarro. It'll dive low, 1-0.
You wonder how much them going to the World Series last year will aid them in the postseason this season.
I would think a lot. That experience is, I mean, you can't replace that. And there's a guy that would make that play in his sleep here in Cleveland.
Yeah, I wonder what he thinks of Lindor.
He probably thinks it's pretty good.
And Ramirez, their second baseman. Ramirez was a shortstop before Lindor arrived on the scene. Both switch hitters. Omar was a switch hitter himself. He played along a Hall of Famer in Robbie Alomar.
Two 2-0 on Navarro. Omar played such good defense that not many realize he had over 2,800 hits.
Right.
That's a lot of hits. Now, I know he played a long time, and if you stick around long enough and you play as much as Vizquel did, you'll pile up some numbers, but this guy could hit.
He turned himself into a really good player, and when he and Robbie Alomar played together at shortstop and second base, switch hitters, they were getting it done on both sides of the ball, winning Gold Gloves every year. And Robbie Alomar was a tremendous offensive player.
The 2-1 in the air toward left field. Cruising over is Brandon Guyer. He's under it, and that'll end the inning. 1-2-3 inning for the Indians. You're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
There was a local window company that had to rebate $1.7 million to its customers because of a promotional deal that they ran during the month of July. So this window company's celebrating his 15th year anniversary, and they thought, you know, a good idea would be we'll promise customers if they were to buy some windows, siding, gutters, doors, whatever it is, and the Indians go on a 15-game, at least a 15-game winning streak throughout the rest of the season, that we'll give you your money back. Well, guess what? We're sitting on 19 wins here in Cleveland, so now they've got to rebate $1.7 million to customers. The owner had to take out a $75,000 insurance policy in order to make that happen. So I don't know if he got a raise, the guy who came up with this idea, or if he got canned.
I'm going with fired.
Yeah, he got fired.
You believe that, though? I mean, what are the chances, right?
That's some bad luck right there.
15th anniversary says, yeah, we'll do it if they win 15 in a row. We'll give you your money back.
Well, they should have known, because the Tribe last year had a run where they won 14 games in a row, so they can get hot.
That's true.
That's a bad promotion.
Yeah.
Austin Jackson leading things off. And he sprays one foul down the right field line. 1-2 on Jackson. He'll be followed by Ramirez and then Encarnacion.
Austin Jackson was a good Tiger. Nearly won Rookie of the Year his first year. Tremendous center fielder.
That'll miss outside. Even the count now 2-2. Naftali Feliz won the Rookie of the Year that year.
Yeah. Austin now has played for several different teams.
Little number back to the mound, and Boyd will handle this one. Jackson is out of there, one gone. Time now for the AT&T reliability stat of the game. Teams with a plus 100 run differential during a 19-game span. Now this is a 19-game winning streak that is going for Cleveland, but in a 19-game span since 1900, look at the Indians. They're on the board there with the 39 Yankees, among others. Ball belted foul by Ramirez.
And really, Terry Francona, because they've basically been blowing out their opposition every night. I mean, they've been averaging 7-8 runs per game during the 19-game winning streak. And the teams they're going up against are only averaging 2 runs. So what that allows Terry to do, as he did last night, get his regulars off their feet. He doesn't have to blow out that bullpen, which he has used a lot this year. And it keeps guys fresh.
Back to the grass goes Romine to play the hop, and Ramirez is out. 2 gone. Here is the big story. The Indians are chasing the A's of 2002, 20 straight wins. And they needed a Scott Hatterberg home run for a comeback 12-11 victory.
Didn't they have 11-run lead in that game?
11-0. They blew it. And then they won it.
Art Howe, Jermaine Dye.
Popped up foul. This one will head out of play.
Yeah, Terry Francona was saying that the back end in his bullpen, guys like Shaw, guys like Allen, he has to get them in games which are not closing games just to get them some work, because these games that they've won the 19-game winning streak on, they haven't been close.
Good problems to have, I suppose. 0-1 on Encarnacion.
Probably couldn't have come at a better time for Terry Francona, because really in the last number of years, he's leaned heavily on guys like Shaw out of that bullpen, Cody Allen. Very few have pitched as much as those guys have pitched.
That's a good point. Both of those guys have really logged a lot of innings in their career.
Shaw, Miller, and Allen, they pitched just about every single game last year during the course of the postseason.
Here's what you were talking about.
Yeah, that's since Terry took over. So he's leaned on Shaw. He's leaned on Allen. Joe Smith left and came back. He leaned on him too.
Whistled foul.
But now that bullpen, Mario, is lengthened is further now, because Salazar's down there now. So now you got another guy in the bullpen that's throwing 97 to 100 miles an hour with wipeout stuff. So that bullpen all of a sudden is one of the best in our sport.
Yeah, and Salazar can give you multiple innings too. Big swing there by Encarnacion.
I mean, I don't know who has the deepest bullpen, these guys or the New York Yankees, with all those fireballers they have once Chapman gets right again.
Meanwhile, 115 pitches now for Boyd. That is a season high. Swing and a miss, and he struck Encarnacion out. Matt is able to get through 5. Still 1-0.
Go Lindor, their very talented leadoff hitter. That was the 30th homer of the season for Lindor, and here's the call of the game. He got busy after that. He scattered 6 hits, but they had the bases loaded in back-to-back innings, and he was able to get out of both of those jams. And really every other time they had a runner in scoring position, Matthew Boyd made the pitches to get out of those jams. 116 pitches, 115, 5 innings for Matthew tonight.
Wasn't very efficient, but boy, you got to tip the cap to Matt Boyd. He left him loaded a couple of times.
And giving up just 1 run to this offense, pretty good day. You like to see the pitch count a little bit better than that, but nice little learning experience tonight for Matthew.
He slowed them down to be sure. And now the Tigers have Romine, Kinsler, Presley as we go to the 6th, facing Corey Kluber, who's retired 15 of the last 16. Romine fouls it off. 1 ball and 1 strike on the Tigers shortstop.
Corey pitch count in pretty good shape. He's only thrown 73. It's a time of year where Terry Francona, with all of his starters, he won't allow these guys to go much more than 100 pitches, knowing that they've got to pitch into the postseason.
One and 2 now on Romine. Grounded out 3-1. That was back in the 3rd. Andrew had a couple of doubles in a game against the Indians. Hit him off Clevenger back at Comerica Park. Got him, strike 3. Romine knew it. And another strikeout for Kluber.
What Kluber is doing today is he's getting ahead with his breaking ball, and then when he wants to put Tigers hitters away, he's been able to locate that fastball in the mid-90s on the inside part of the plate to get several strikeouts looking. That is now 4 strikeouts today looking, majority of those on that 4-seam fastball that, excuse me, 2-seam fastball that Corey has been featured.
Here is Kinsler, who has one of the 2 Tigers hits, double to start the game, but was stranded at 3rd. Castellanos a double, the only other Tigers hit. Rolled right back to the mound. Kluber knocks it down and throws him out. 2 away. Fans, the Tigers play the White Sox this Friday at 7:10 p.m. The first 5,000 fans receive a free watch hat. For tickets, go to Tigers.com. Not a whole lot to cheer about tonight for those wearing the Old English D, but there's still time. They just have not been able to get a whole lot going against Kluber. Presley is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Time for a bloop and a blast here. See if we can get Presley on, set up Cabrera.
And Corey Kluber, 11 of 20 in first pitch strikes thrown so far to the Tigers. But his stuff is so wicked, though. Even if he does fall behind, he has the ability to throw that breaking ball in a fastball count. And as I said earlier, with 2 strikes, he's been finishing guys off with that mid-90s heater. Nothing he throws is straight.
2-1. Tigers have Verhagen and Blaine Hardy, the righty-lefty duo.
Hardy's been up. Verhagen just got up.
Man. Bender drops in 2-2.
That curveball, it's a great pitch. A lot of people think that it's a slider that Corey Kluber throws. It's got slider action, but he calls it a curveball.
Little bit inside, full count now, 3-2.
He tried to get Presley with that same fastball that he got Andrew with, and nearly got it.
Ooh, really close. I mean, Kluber doesn't even look like he's breathing hard. The 3-2, swing and a miss. A 1-2-3 inning for Corey Kluber and 8 strikeouts. It's been tight all night long. The Tribe got a run in the first, and so far still 1-0. And Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Back here in Cleveland now as we go to the bottom of the sixth. It's going to be a wall side windows pitching change. Blaine Hardy coming up.
And Blaine Hardy has pitched quite a bit since coming back up from the minor leagues. Overall this season, he's been in 27 games with an ERA over 5.5. 21 strikeouts for Blaine. He's only walked 12.
Santana Bruce Diaz will face him here in the sixth. Line drive, base hit to left center field. Let's see if he gets two out of this. It's going to get away momentarily by Presley, and into second goes Santana to lead things off. Presley got over there, knocked it down, but I think Santana gets to second anyway. Seventh hit for Cleveland.
These Cleveland Indians are playing the game at a whole different speed right now. As soon as Santana made contact with his ball right past the shortstop, he was thinking two out of that batter's box, and he was determined to get there and was able to get there after Presley mishandled that ball, but I don't think Presley would have thrown him out anyway.
Leadoff doubled for Santana. That'll bring up Jay Bruce. Cleveland is only 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. They left the bases loaded in the second and in the third.
Hardy has a fastball that probably tops out at about 92. He also has a slider he'll throw 12% of the time. He likes his curveball, and his changeup is really the pitch he uses the most. 38% of the time with his changeup.
Blaine was really good down at AAA this year. 7-3 record, 3 saves, a 3.10 ERA, more than a strikeout per inning. He also made a couple of starts.
There are times where Hardy does give up some hard contact, but the one thing that he doesn't do, he doesn't usually beat himself by walking people.
Now the 2-1. 2-2 on Jay Bruce. Bruce has seen nothing but lefties tonight. Boyd in his first 2 at-bats, and now Hardy here in the 6th. Ground ball right side. This will advance the runner. Bruce is on 3 unassisted. Time for a game break now, and Matt Shepard. Big time walk-up crowd, Shep. They are looking for their 20th consecutive win. And here comes Brad to make a wall side windows pitching change. So Hardy is out of the game. And we'll be back. Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, for tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevy, the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row. Back here in Cleveland now, Drew Verhagen coming out of the bullpen.
Brad going to bring the infield in. And when Verhagen is right, he throws lots of ground balls, and he's hoping that Diaz will hit one right at one of the defenders that are playing in at the cut of the grass.
Santana, the runner at third base with 1 out. And a ground ball foul outside of the bag at first.
Good fastball there thrown by Verhagen at 95 miles an hour.
Yandy Diaz with a single and a fly ball. Indians trying to get their second run across after the leadoff double by Santana. He moved to third on the ground out by Bruce.
They've had runners on the base paths all night long.
Ooh, swing and a miss, 0-2.
Good curveball there at 79. First pitch was 95, then he comes back with a 79-mile-per-hour curveball. Straight over the top. Cannot give up an 0-2 pitch here. Cannot give up an 0-2 hit.
Swing and a miss. Diaz out of there.
Look out, Verhagen.
On 3 pitches, there are 2 gone now, and the first strikeout of the ball game for Drew.
Good two-seam fastball down.
Brandon Guyer will not bat. Mejia will pinch hit. So one of the youngsters, one of their top prospects, will have a chance to knock in a run here. Francisco Mejia.
Another switch hitter. They've got a ton of switch hitters on their roster. More than any team in baseball, I believe.
And they're just going to walk it. And bring up Yan Gomes. Intentional walk to Mejia. Now we'll get a pinch runner for Mejia.
These expanded rosters.
I think that's Greg Allen down there.
It is.
Well, if he got him, you might as well use him. And Allen brings an element of speed.
And Allen will stay in the game.
So here is Yan Gomes, first and third.
Yeah, don't throw Gomes a first pitch fastball.
It's going to get away. They're going to try and score the run. Throw to the plate. Not in time. It was held on to by Holiday, and Santana will score to make it 2-0.
I was watching Santana at third base, and he anticipated that it was going to be a breaking ball, and he got a great jump. I mean, a tremendous jump. That ball only bounced about 10 feet away from Brian Holiday, but by the time Verhagen got to home plate, Santana was already into his head-first slide. Tremendous jump there by Santana.
Good observation, because on a play like that, you don't normally score the run.
No, you do not.
It did not get far enough away from Holiday, but Santana got a great break, and now it's 2-0. Allen, meanwhile, goes to second in the wild pitch.
Santana got a smile out of Corey Kluber.
No way.
He did.
That dives low and away, 2-0.
Just for a second, though.
It was not an elongated smile. Well, Verhagen did really well to strike out Diaz, and then after the intentional walk, the wild pitch scores the run.
Yeah, there's that smile.
Okay, that's enough. We're showing replays of smiles now. Here's the 2-0. Grounded foul, 2-1. Kluber is about as stoic as you get for a guy in the heat of battle. Once the game starts, man, he is all business. 2-1 on Gomes. Pulled on the ground to third, Candelario. That'll end the inning. However, the Tribe gets an insurance run. 6 in the books, 2-0. Lead 2-0 now as we go to the top of the 7th. This Sunday, the Tigers take on the White Sox, 1:10 p.m. start. Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under get a free back-to-school lunchbox. Go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Well, here comes Cabrera, and Kluber has struck him out twice in this game. Got some defensive changes we'll get to momentarily for the Indians. Here's a roller to the shortstop, Lindor, and 1 pitch, 1 out. Miggy now 0 for 3. Austin Jackson now will slide over to the left. Allen will stay in the game, and he will play center field for the Tribe. There's Allen. And Urshela now is the new third baseman. Diaz out of the game. Nicholas Castellanos. Corey Kluber has retired 19 of the last 20.
8 strikeouts, and really the Tigers have really not had a lot of good swings against Corey Kluber here tonight. And he is demonstrating to us why he is the leader in the clubhouse for his 2nd Cy Young Award.
Line drive, base hit right field. Castellanos, a 2-hit game.
See, Nick is unselfish. Nick will take his hands and pull him close to his body. And he's not trying to pull Kluber. He's just simply trying to hit the ball the other way. And by doing so, with this kind of approach, it allows Nicholas to see the ball a lot longer. And he's not leaving the strike zone swinging at bad pitches. That is the 2nd swing that we've seen Nicholas take and put his hands inside, open up the hips, and simply try to hit the ball the opposite way. And he's been successful twice.
3rd Tigers hit. 2 of them belong to Nick. The other is a double by Kinsler. Tying run coming to the plate now. Here is Jeimer Candelario. Ball 1.
Well, Jeimer might just get a good fastball to hit right here from Kluber, and if he does get it, he may as well put his best swing on it. He might throw him a breaking ball, but if you get a breaking ball, you simply take it. You're dialed in for a fastball here.
Ground out and a strikeout for Candelario in this game. One of the 8 strikeouts for Kluber. In there, a strike called. He got the outside corner there from Scott Berry. High, ball 2. Tyler Collins waiting on deck. Indians trying to win their 20th consecutive ball game. It was a streak that started on August 24th. They mentioned they beat Chris Sale. They wanted to beat Luis Severino of the Yankees. Jason Vargas of the Royals. Here's the 2-1. Low ball 3. 3-1 now on Candelario.
Kluber has not walked a batter here tonight.
In there, a strike called at the bottom of the strike zone. 3-2.
And Jamer continues to beef with Scott Berry. He is not agreeing with the strikes that Scott Berry is calling, and therefore he is not the best frame of mind. You got to concentrate here.
Just got a piece. Candelario stays alive. A bunch of zeros in that Tiger box.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on in that box score other than for Kinsler and Castellanos in that number 4 spot.
Single double for Nick, double for Kinsler. Tigers' best scoring chance up until this point was the leadoff double by Ian to start the game, but they couldn't get him home. Right back up the middle on the ground. Lindor tags the bag 1. There's the double play. And it's been that kind of night for Corey Kluber. Dominant through 7. Coming up, the McLaren Health Plan 7th inning stretch. On financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. Help people affected by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Back here in Cleveland now, the Indians coming up in the bottom of the 7th with the top of the order. It'll be Francisco Lindor to lead things off, facing Drew Verhagen. And the first one darts low and away, 1-0.
Yeah, first at bat of the night for Lindor, batting left-handed. His previous 3 at-bats against Matthew Boyd, all from the right side.
That'll miss again outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Lindor homered in the first inning off the starter Matt Boyd. The only run that Boyd allowed. In fact, Matthew retired the last 7 straight that he faced. The 2-0. 3-0 on Lindor.
A couple of years ago, Lindor made his major league debut against the Tigers at Comerica Park. And at that time, Ron Shapiro was still their president and general manager. He said this guy had star written all over him, and he would be a leader not only on the field but in the clubhouse, and boy was he right.
Got himself a leadoff walk here in the 7th. We'll bring up Austin Jackson. Indians lead 2-0 here in the 7th.
And no doubt Lindor has a green light if he wants to try to steal a bag here. 13 this season for Lindor.
Showing bunt, and he'll lay it down foul. 0-1 on Jackson. It's funny, the Indians started 19-19 against the Central Division. They really did play all that well in the month of April. In their last 26 against the Central, they're 22-4. They have just hammered the Central Division and have opened up a big lead. He shows bunt, takes it outside.
It makes you wonder if that sign is coming from Francona. The bunt sign, that is, to Austin Jackson.
Lindor trying to throw. 13 steals, 16 attempts.
I don't remember when Terry Francona managed the Boston Red Sox. I don't think he had all that stuff on the wall behind him when he was their manager, all those numbers and stats and scouting reports.
It'll chop her up the middle, could be 2. Romine 1 and a double play. That'll help. 2 gone now. 6-3 on the twin killing. Jackson tried to bunt him up. Was unable to drop down a bunt. Now it turns into a double play. They'll bring up Jose Ramirez. I don't remember all of that stuff on the wall either. But then again, you could probably say that about a few managers now these days.
True that.
Compared to 5-10 years ago.
Terry, 2-time manager of the year. He's also won a couple of championships as a manager. World Series championships, that is.
Jose Ramirez stands in with 2 outs, a single and 3 at-bats.
Terry was a good player, too. Won a Golden Spikes Award when he came out of college in Arizona. And had a nice big league career, but his knee injuries kind of curtailed all that.
Meanwhile, Ramirez has yet another hit. He is 2 for 4 tonight. And he came in batting .482 against Tigers pitching this year.
.482. He's up to 500 now, probably.
We'll bring up Encarnacion.
Is he the MVP for you, or is it Altuve? Is it Trout, or is it going to go down to the wire?
You know, I heard that pregame piece you did, and to be honest, I would have to look at it a little bit deeper. I haven't looked at it really in a couple of weeks, but at that time, I was convinced it was Altuve. I think, what does Ramirez have? 47 doubles.
Yep, and he also has 79 extra base hits, which is the most in the majors.
I will look into that further. I guess my initial response would be Altuve. But Ramirez, a mighty mite in his own, is having a great year.
Altuve is going to have 200 hits. He's going to score 100 runs. He's going to steal a bunch of bases. Tons of doubles. Both guys having fabulous seasons.
Here's the 1-1. Grounded foul. Encarnacion tonight, 0 for 3, couple of punch outs. He lined out sharply in his first at bat.
Encarnacion loves to pull the baseball. 65 hits to left field. He's gone to center field 40 times. Very seldom does he go to right field. He's got that slightly open stance, and he dares you to throw the ball on the inner third of home plate. He looks a lot like, to me, like Eric Hosmer when he's standing in that batter's box. He's got bad intentions with that bat.
Got that Ed wing too. Once he hits a homer, he carries that parrot around the base pass. Swing and a miss, and Verhagen strikes him out. He has fanned 3 times in this game. No runs, couple of hits, 1 left. Tigers baseball, presented by Bell Tire.
America Bank game summary. Francisco Lindor got his ball club on the board first with a leadoff shot, and really that was all that they were able to do until Verhagen comes into the game, and he bounces a breaking ball in Santana on third base. He gets a great break, and he's able to score after a leadoff double, and really Corey Kluber has done the rest. 7 innings pitched. He's only given up 3 hits, no walks, no runs, and 8 strikeouts, and a lot of soft contact tonight off Tiger bats.
And Kluber going back to work now as we head to the top of the 8th inning, and Collins rips a single right back up the middle into center field.
Good swing there by Tyler.
Wasting no time at all. He took the first offering and drilled it to center. The leadoff man is on. That'll bring up Brian Holliday. Tigers have not had a whole lot to work with tonight, only their 4th hit. Holliday pop up in a ground out. He was absolutely robbed on a great play by Lindor in the 5th inning.
Lindor has been doing it all here tonight.
Bender missing low and away, 1-0. There is activity for the Tigers. Daniel Stumpf. Santana due to lead off in the 8th, and Bruce, so they got the lefty tuning. That'll dive low and away again. Good take there by Holiday, and the count goes 2-0. Meanwhile, the lefty Olsen starting to warm up in the Indians' pen. Outside, he stays away again. Now 3-0 on Holiday. Navarro waiting on deck. Kluber operating toward the bottom of the Tiger lineup here in the 8th.
And Corey closing in on 100 pitches here tonight.
They caught the outside corner, 3-1.
His season high is 120. And so Terry can let him go a little bit further. He really hasn't pitched in much stress at all. So it hasn't been a taxing outing tonight for Corey. A lot of times guys get to 100 pitches and they pitch in a lot of traffic, and the manager will simply go get them because they've had a hard night's work, but it hasn't been that way for Kluber.
Full count now, 3-2. Yeah, to be sure. I mean, he gave up the leadoff double in the first, and beyond that, a 2-out double in the fourth, and not a whole lot going on. Now the crowd getting back into it. 3-2 on Holiday. Indians trying to win their 20th consecutive ball game. They lead 2-0 over the Tigers in the 8th.
20 games in a row in the win column with this much parity in Major League Baseball. It's amazing.
In the air toward left field. Jackson cruising over is under it. Right in front of the warning track, one gone.
You take a look at the pitches per inning tonight turned in by Corey Kluber, the most at 21 in the 4th. That's his most stressful inning. Every other inning 16 or less, which is pretty good. 12 in the 6th, 10 in the 7th. Huh.
So here is the left-handed batting effort, Navarro. Navarro strikeout, flyout. And Navarro looks at a strike.
That's two-seam fastball at 95 has been a really good pitch for him. He starts it right at the left-handers, and he starts it off the plate about 3 inches. And as a left-handed batter, you see it inside. You simply give up on it in the natural two-seam action on that pitch, the late life. It allows it to catch the inside corner. Scott Berry has called a lot of those strikes today.
There's a drive right to second. That's going to be a double play. A line drive double play gets Collins off first, and Corey Kluber getting a standing O as he walks off. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City. And by Wallsign Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. We're Progressive Field in Cleveland, where the Indians are 3 outs away from winning their 20th consecutive ball game. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, it'll be Daniel Stumpf coming on in a Wallside Windows pitching change.
And Stumpf pitching in his 46th game this year, really good ERA. Now here's one guy, Mario, that has pitched well enough to go to spring training next year with probably a spot in that bullpen.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, he has been really good from the left side. Tigers really weren't sure what they got from Stumpf or out of Stumpf when they picked him up in the offseason, but he has really looked good. It's going to be Santana to get things started now for the Indians. They lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the 8th. Inside, made him skip out of the way, 1-0. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Tribe. No runs, 4 hits for the Tigers. Ball 2 on Santana. Three defenders now to the left of second base for the Tigers. They'll open things up on the right side.
Yeah, during the course of the 19-game winning streak, the Cleveland Indians have not played many close games at all. Their average victory margin is probably 6 runs.
The only really tight game I can remember against the Tigers, aside from this one obviously, was that game 1 of the doubleheader, which was a 1-run game in Detroit. And there's ball 4, so didn't want to do that. Leadoff man on here in the 8th. We will wrap up this series tomorrow at noon here in Cleveland. And here are the probables brought to you by Wallside Windows. It'll be Buck Farmer and Mike Clevenger.
And Clevenger has pitched so well that Terry Francona has decided to move Salazar to the bullpen. 9-5 with 106 innings under his belt this year and a very good ERA. He'll be going up against Buck Farmer. Buck's won 4 games this year.
Jay Bruce will stand in now with the runner at first, nobody out. And Bruce skies one in the air towards shallow left. Presley coming in, and Bruce retired, 1 gone. Bruce seeing nothing but lefties tonight. Boyd and then Hardy, and now Stumpf here in the 8th.
Yeah, you brought it up earlier. His batting average coming in was only 161 against lefties.
Urshela will get his first at bat. Came on as a defensive replacement. Ground ball left side. It's going to find a hole. Base hit. 2 on now with 1 out. Done that a couple of times tonight. They found that seam to the left side of the infield. Indians have their 9th hit of the ball game. Here's Greg Allen now. Indians are just 1 for 9 with men in scoring position. They have struck out 4 times as well. Strike 1 on Allen. Eight games this year at the big league level, .250 batting average. Slice to the right side, diving stop. Kinsler goes to second. 1, no relay, but he saved a base hit and probably a run. Great diving play by Ian Kinsler.
Very seldom do we see Ian Kinsler leave his feet because he gets such great jumps and great breaks from that second base position where he won a Gold Glove last year. He grabs that ball, throws to one knee, gives Romine a very firm throw, but they're not going to get Allen. Allen running down the line has really good speed, so Romine wisely ate it and then looked to third base to see if Santana, he rounded the bag a little bit too far.
First and third down with 2 outs, and here is Yan Gomes.
You have to be careful here if you're the Tigers in a first and third situation. If Allen takes off from first base, if you're Brian Holiday, you have to at least know that Santana might try to come home from home plate. So you better be sure if you throw that ball down to second base.
Tigers saw that in Toronto when Kenrys Morales scored from third.
Yeah, he stole a run.
Strike one on Gomes. Same situation that the Indians had in the sixth. First and third, a wild pitch by Verhagen scored the second run, allowing Santana to score.
Wasn't the stump that was on the mound where Odor tried to steal home plate when we were in Texas a few weeks back?
I believe it was. I'd have to double check that, but I think you're right.
No, I think so.
1 ball, 1 strike.
It was called a balk, so Odor did not get credited with a steal of home, but it should have been a steal of home.
One ball and 1 strike on Yan Gomes. Outside 2-1.
And currently the Tribe have a 1.5 game lead over the Houston Astros for the best record in the American League. Trying to hold on to that.
Popped him up. Middle of the infield. It's going to be Kinsler to the grass, and that'll end the inning. No runs. They leave a couple. We'll go to the ninth. Corey Kluber trying to finish it out and pitch the Indians to their 20th consecutive victory. All right, guys, thanks. Corey Kluber back to the hill, and here we go in the ninth. It'll be Romine to lead things off, and he looks at strike one.
And Corey Kluber trying to pitch his 5th complete game of the season.
Kluber this year, 4 complete games and 2 shutouts. He's got Romine, Kinsler, and Presley here in the 9th inning. And it's rolled foul. RBI Baseball 2017 is out now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Heck, with all your favorite Major League teams, players, ballparks, and more. 0-2 on Romine. The Let's Go Kluber chants ringing down. Here's the 0-2, and it's high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Corey still has a lot left in his tank. Yeah, that last fastball to Andrew Romine, 94 miles an hour. He's pretty much been 95 and below that all day. I don't think he's gotten to 96 today. 95 with movement, though.
In the air to center field. Allen going back, still going back. He'll make the catch. Romine gave it a ride, not deep enough, 1 gone. Now here is Ian Kinsler. Meanwhile, Cody Allen, in case his services are needed, their closer, warming up. Kinsler doubled in the first. They got him to third with 1 out, but couldn't score on the best scoring chance the Tigers have had so far. He'll shoot one to the right side, and is flagged there by Ramirez. Got him at first base.
What a great angle taken by Jose Ramirez there to take a base hit away from Ian Kinsler.
Another sparkling play by the Indians infield.
He was 10 feet on the grass, and the only way that he makes his play is to take this angle that he took. Take a look at the angle to cut it off.
Bang, bang at first base.
And then threw off balance, but still able to get that much on his throw to get the speedy Ian running down the line.
And here is Presley now for the Tigers, their last chance. Presley is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. And a strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Kluber got the call there. A crowd of 24,654.
Most of the crowd a walk-up variety today. They came to see history.
The 0-1. 0-2 now on Presley.
And they're 1 pitch away from seeing history.
The 2001 Oakland A's won 20 straight. The 2017 Cleveland Indians are 1 strike away from matching them. If Presley reaches, Cabrera is on deck. The 0-2. Driven to right center field. That ball gets down. It's going to be a base hit and more. It's going to go to the warning track. Presley is off to the races. He'll hit the bag at second, but stop there. And it's a 2-out, 2-base hit for Alex Presley. And that's going to bring the tying run to the plate. And it's quieted the crowd.
That's a good 2-seam fastball. Really nice swing put on it by Presley, who has really good numbers against the Tribe and against the Central. Settles for a double in the right center field gap.
Here is Miguel Cabrera, who is 0 for 3.
Nobody has hit Corey Kluber any harder in his career than Miguel Cabrera. No one.
And a strike called, 0-1. Kluber struck him out in the first and the fourth, got him to ground out in the 7th.
He struck Miggy out with a fastball Miggy's first time up. The second strikeout of Miguel tonight was a breaking ball. And meanwhile, Yan Gomes has done very nice work behind the plate today, guiding Corey Kluber.
Catchers
hadn't gotten any credit for it, but he's been real good.
rarely get credit when a starting pitcher is being dominant. And Kluber has been that tonight. Gomes has guided the ship. 1 ball, 1 strike on Miguel. Bouncing ball toward third. Urshela. And the Indians have won 20 consecutive ball games.
Tigers have been shut out in back-to-back games here in Cleveland.
Corey Kluber dominant tonight.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it is Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. Really all about Corey Kluber here tonight. His 5th complete game of the season, his 3rd shutout, 8 strikeouts. He only gave up 5 hits, did not walk a batter, and a lot of soft contact tonight off Tigers' bats. And with the world watching Corey Kluber tonight, he may just now be the leader in the clubhouse for the Cy Young Award.
Right now, we'll send you to the Coliseum Studios. Matt Shepard standing by with Tigers Live postgame.